Men of Reddit, what is something women hate about their bodies, that you actually love? When I was in college, two different girls reacted badly when I tried to compliment them on how pretty their freckles were. They both told me they hated them. I'll never understand it. If you have freckles, you've won the pretty face lottery, in my opinion. I used to cover mine up. One time, I was out at the local club and another regular leaned in to talk, and then stopped. Looked at me strangely and said, "Wow, look at those freckles. Why the hell would you cover them up?" Since I stopped covering them up, I have found a lot of people who really like them. The soft meaty part, around the hip bones, that kinda spreads out when they sit down or kneel, it's so attractive. Reading all these comments is making me blush. I hate that part of my body, but maybe now, not so much. Literally nothing but love for that part, I swear. A friend of mine calls it the reason I have 3 kids. Laugh lines around the eyes, sometimes called crow's feet. Sexy AF on older women. It makes me really sad to see everyone in general frown upon laugh lines, whether they're on the eyes or around the mouth. Why wouldn't you want to show the world you've lived a life full of joy and laughter? Their natural eyebrows. Yes, women have their eyebrows worked on, like a designer got it on Illustrator, but naturals are so much better than over-engineered ones. I spent the 90s and 2000s refusing to cave to pressure, to pull out my eyebrows and draw them back on. There were several girls at school who were very mean to me about my perfectly normal eyebrows. Now I bump into people from school, and they've had to get their eyebrows tattooed back on, or some other painful expensive solution. One of the few good calls I made in my teens. I was always very insecure about my hip dips, until my boyfriend told me he loved them. I was standing in front of him one day and he just said, "I love the way your hips go in a little there, it makes your butt so cute, it's my favorite," and I was shocked, honestly. I used to spend hours watching videos about how to exercise them away, creams that would fill them in, and other ridiculous horseshit that would never work. He's somehow found every insecurity I have, and told me how attractive it is, before he ever even knew I was insecure. I had to Google what hip dips were, and I'm shocked that all the results were about how to get rid of them. They're beautiful, basically a little hourglass figure that frames your butt. The jiggling. All that movement going on, it's enthralling. Saw this girl at one time drop her hand. It kinda bumped her thigh, and made it shake, ever so slightly, like a firm shake. I almost died. An ex of mine from high school first caught my eye when she stomped her foot down at the skating rink, and her entire leg rippled like jello. Delicious. I used to be so self-conscious about my thigh shake. I quit wearing shorts when I was 12 because of it. It's making me cry to think about it. Thick thighs. I love thighs, and if I ain't suffocating between my wife's thighs, am I even going down on her? Thick thighs save lives. Edit. Well damn. Thanks for the award and all the upvotes. I can't believe my highest upvotes comment is about thighs, but then again, I can believe it. They also unfortunately shred jeans. My boyfriend said this, and I told him they eat my shorts in seconds. Imagine what they'd do to a man's face. Literally everything. I tell my woman that all the time. She's 50. Has had 3 children. She's also lost a lot of weight in the last year. She complains about her excess skin on her stomach, but to me, she's the most beautiful person I've ever met, and I tell her that daily. Don't forget to keep doing it, brother. Congratulations on succeeding in life and enjoy it, for those of us that didn't get the chance, or haven't gotten there quite yet. My ex-girlfriend always complained about the size of her cheeks, and how she looked like Kiko, a character from an old Mexican TV series. For me, she looked gorgeous. I love to kiss and caress her cute round face. Everything that has to do with getting older. When my wife and I got married, we were obviously younger and in our 20s. Although never thin, I was more slender. My wife, 5 feet 9 inches, and legs for days, and just banging body. Now, I'm not as thin, same as her. We have 2 kids, and I find her sexier now, more than ever. In our almost decade together, we have slept on a floor, used change for gas, and had our electricity turned off 3 to 4 times for non-payment. She's my ride or die. She has more of a tummy now, bigger boobs, maybe doesn't shave like she used to, or wear skimpy lingerie outfits randomly. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. We have grown older together, and I honestly couldn't find anything in this world that still turns me on, as the certain way my wife runs her fingers down my back, or how she looks naked. And it's because she's mine. Not in a possessive sexist way, but in a I'm the luckiest guy in the world that this beautiful human wants to spend the rest of their life with me and have sex with me. Hopefully, this isn't too long-winded. Long story short, girls spend tons of time worrying about getting older. Age isn't always a detractor. My wife is 5 feet 0 inches and 100 pounds, small petite woman, yet she's given me 3 children I love so very much. She's always so damn hard on herself that it pains me to see. My ass is too big. I need a boob job. I hate my chin. My nose is janky. When I try to tell her that's all bullshit, she waves it off. You're my husband, you're supposed to say that. You look at me with rose-colored glasses. That's all some bullshit. To me, she's all I want, and all I've ever wanted. Just the sight of her is enough to send me into a mouth-watering frenzy. I've wanted her the same, if not more, ever since high school. Just her. Only her. Guys I work with talk among themselves, wondering how an idiot like me got with a baddie like my wife. So, I know I'm not the only one who sees it. But yeah. To be particular, my wife and everything about her. She's perfection at all that I truly want. Just wish she could see what I see, and feel what I feel, when it comes to her. She really doesn't realize that she's Helen of Troy to me. Stomach. I like girls with stomach. Tummy, even. Belly, perhaps. I am a direct descendant of the man who carved the Venus of Willendorf. All boobs are good, too. Small, big, medium. Don't care. Also, laughs. I know a lot of people who hate their laughs, but I think they're the most precious thing. The little stomach chub, in a tight dress. I don't wear tight clothes because of that stomach chub. This is incredible to read. Look, I'm just some rando, but that little curve has me weak at the knees when I see it. Makes me want to go hug them from behind, which obviously I wouldn't do, because boundaries. For me it's specifically baggy eyes, and the decoloration around the eyes that happens when a girl is tired, or that some girls just happen to have. It's enthralling to me, indescribable. As someone who looks like a raccoon from birth, really, I can't remember a day in my life when dark circles under my eyes were not there. I smiled reading this. Thanks. Makes you want to take their load off. I'm crushing hard on a girl who's all but burnt out from work and school, and has bigger bags with every picture she posts, and it makes me want to take care of her, for want of a better term, LOL. I've never seen a woman so beautiful in my entire life, no exaggeration, and she looks so tired. All I want to do is cook for her and give her a break. Definitely awakens some weird instinct, haha. In all honesty, if a man is really into you, he's going to think you're crazy for finding anything wrong with yourself. For me, it's body hair. You're human. We all have body hair. A woman comfortable in her own skin is the sexiest thing she could be. Roars happily in Sasquatch. Her fluffy little tummy, the way she smiles, that dorky cute little laugh she does, her stretch marks, her C-section scar, her thighs, her everything. She's a goddess that I choose to worship. I just love her, bro. I'm her biggest fan. I just love her, bro. This is a very important comma. Definitely smaller breasts, find them extremely cute, especially naturally proportioned to the chest, and it's nice to be able to grasp something properly in your hand. Really hate seeing comments all over women's spaces too, about how much it depresses them, and they want to get surgery and stuff. Don't blame them at all, given how society is, but it sucks for me personally, because they never ever believe you, just think you're lying, which makes them even more insecure. Edit, sorry I can't reply, but really glad my little comment might have helped. Seeing so much insecurity for something that can be so beautiful genuinely hurts the soul. As you can see from the thread, we at least have all sorts of preferences. Nothing is an inherent disadvantage, nobody is perfect. If you ever have a guy who tells you the same thing, they aren't always just trying to make you feel better, or sleep with you. Even if those preferences happen to not coincide with your circumstances, most don't care nearly as much as you think. It's not black and white. I mean, I don't hate large breasts. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like this pressure comes from social media, movies, and even other women can see How destructive that would be. Sorta like porn for men, I guess. It gives us a warped sense of self, comparison is the death of joy, and all that. Maybe a little too clinical or intimate for this thread, but I really appreciate unique labia, and I find it absolutely heartbreaking that there is so much widespread insecurity about this, that there are cosmetic surgeries to fix imperfect labia. Past girlfriends and flings who had more prominent, or unconventional, labia, were dreadfully insecure about it, and some went as far as to be absolutely astounded that I'd compliment them during/after sex, because a past partner hated it, or was very cruel and callous about it. Absolutely gorgeous. One of the most pernicious and evil beauty/porn standards out there. As long as hygiene is well accounted for, there's no such thing as a labia and vulva that are better or worse than any others. It's not ever crossed my mind to compare or critique what's down there, and I always speak out about this when my friends say some stupid or insensitive shit. Stretch marks. Like Kendrick said, show me something natural, like ass, with some stretch marks. I don't know, girls see them as, oh my god, I'm so fat and ugly, but I see it as, damn, that ass got so fat, it literally tore her epidermis. Not to sound like a horny teenager, but their vaginas. I love to see them up close, and I love giving head, yet, so many women are so self-conscious about how theirs looks, that cosmetic vaginoplasty is a thing. I love being on the receiving end, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't self-conscious that I smell or taste bad. I'm healthy and clean, so no reason to worry in reality. But it's hard not to be affected by this narrative that fussy should taste sweet or smell like flowers. Gray hair. Not only is hair just starting to turn gray attractive, but I like more and more gray as I get older. Bonus for the thick streaks of gray, laugh lines, and wrinkles around the face, cellulite, and stretch marks. Basically, anything natural. Broad shoulders. Edit. Wow, so many responses. Thanks for sharing your stories, and for the gold. Makes me want to share my story behind this. So, when I was in high school, I was crushing on a girl that sat in front of me, and being naive to the whole thing, I said, I really like your broad shoulders, and she got really mad at me. I learned a lot that day, lol. I'll delete this comment later, because she'd not want me saying any of this, but fine, I'll leave it up. My GF was born with imperforate anus. She has a very large scar across her stomach, from when she had a colostomy, as a baby. She has also had a liposuction from that, and some other reconstructive surgeries on her lady bits area. There's a lot of scars, and her actual vagina is sort of off to the side and not centered down there. Her current butthole is also not like your normal one, no sphincter, but like a more open hole that leads to her colon. It closes, just not the same way ours does. It's the sexiest effing thing. She's hands down the hottest chick I've ever been with, and all of her imperfections drive me absolutely crazy. The huge scar is so hot, we just had sex too, and I ate her not normal ass for the first time, and she stopped me because she was embarrassed, but let me continue because she loved it. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever been with, and the hottest chick I've been with, even with all of these things she's battled with her whole life. I really think if there's a God, he made her just for me. Edit. She also has asymmetrical breasts, so, if I want the bigger one, I got it. If I want the smaller one, I got it too, so, like it's almost like the pens with 4 different colors in one, and it's just up to you to pick what you're gonna write with for the day. A bit longer than others, but I have a full story to tell, which might help someone. A few years ago, my lady got a breast cancer. We live in a country with high-level medical facilities, and the doctor told us, at the very first meeting, that we were here to heal, no reason to think otherwise. But her cancer is genetic. It means, if she kept her breasts, her risk of having a new cancer would be very high. So, it's clear for both of us, she got a mastectomy. She now has no breast anymore. She just has 2 big scars on the chest. On her side, she effing hates her body. She is scared as hell to wear anything that could reveal her scars. She also got some weight during the treatment, and she is pissed at that, too. But I effing love her. I choose to love with this woman, and it does not matter if she had lost her breasts, her legs or her face, I will still love her. I will fricking love those scars until my dying breath, because, to me, it means she survived. My GF has a brown birthmark, on her very white butt, and she hates it, and often talks of wanting it removed. While I am very supportive of her, doing whatever makes her happy, I can't help but tell her how sexy I think it is, and every chance I get, I kiss it and or give it a little bite. There's something about that little spot that drives me wild. That natural, no makeup look. The first time I saw my girl with no makeup, I was stunned. At first I was like, what happened to your eyebrows? 'Cause they were much lighter, compared to her regular color. I thought she shaved them off, lol. I love that fresh look, shows off her eyes more, and in the right light skin, can be glowing. Muscular arms, back, and shoulders. It makes for a beautiful figure, and I respect the work it takes to get that figure. Happy to read this. I've heard so many times that I should not get too muscular, because I will look less feminine, and should instead just go for petty but fit. F people, I love my strong upper body. Thank you for appreciating it. Pubic hair. Gimme that bush. This is so refreshing, compared to Reddit threads from 2008-2012-ish. Bush was seeming universally reviled, and I'd get downvoted into oblivion for stating that I would never shave for a man. It's not even an ideological or aesthetic thing for me. Ingrown hair/razor burn aren't cute, not comfortable, and I have better things to spend time and money on than getting waxed. Wait. When my wife and I started dating in 2007, she was 15, I was 17, she squeezed into a size 00 prom dress. She now wears a 10/12, 16 years later. In that time, she's gone through school, carried 4 children, 2 of our own, and she was a surrogate twice, and has put on about 50 pounds since we were teenagers. Now, at age 32-33, I find her just as beautiful as I did when we were kids. I wish she'd believe me when I told her. Age. The shit I hear regarding women being past their prime is some of the most utter garbage of all time. There is nothing that turns me on more than older women. Specifically, taking all the poisoned experience and making them moan like a teenager again. Nothing hotter. I am really into women with weird features, especially noses. Like, big hook nose, or flat nose with sharp nostrils. Anything outside of the skinny straight nose is super hot by its uniqueness alone. It adds so much beautiful character to a woman's face, and it's really effed up they're not more appreciated. The girl I'm talking to right now, with the hope to date and then marry later on, always warns me before we hug that she's a little sweaty, and that she's self-conscious about it. I'm like, hon, it's 80 degrees in the PNW. We're all a little sweaty. I'm not saying that I want full-on BO all the time. Hygiene is important, but a little bit here and there makes the heat worthwhile. Haven't seen it, so I adore when A+ size woman's arms match the curve. My fiance is so worried about her arms, but she just has soft, strong arms. She doesn't have any flab. They are just perfectly portioned to her cute and curvaceous body. I always hear girls worried about their arms, but I know you all chefs in the kitchen and got the best hugs. Speaking from a male perspective, everything about a woman is sexy as hell, except a shit personality. If you're a woman, then you are amazing. Stop putting so much undue pressure on yourselves, ladies. Just know that you're all beautiful, exactly how you are. I think one of the most overlooked things is that most of us men couldn't give a damn about how you look. Small breasts versus large breasts, big butt or small butt, and so on. We love you for you. So, stop worrying about how you look. Honestly, 99.9% of men genuinely couldn't care less. Like, yeah, sure, we have our ideal preferences, but at the end of the day, personality really is the thing that we're attracted to. I agree with every post in this thread. To avoid repeating, I will say that I love asymmetrical breasts. One girlfriend I had was an A cup on one side and C on the other. Great variety, and something to grab, no matter my mood. Really though, the answer is everything. Without exception, every single thing a woman has told me they were self-conscious of has been a primary factor in my attraction to them. I want that chub, hair, stretch marks, unique shapes, dangly labia, all of it. How the accepted beauty standards strayed so far from the things I find sexy, I'll never know. I just got into an argument with her while we were both falling asleep the other night. She said her boobs were just okay. Small, but okay, not great. For context, she is a smaller A cup. In my half-asleep state, I got angry. I said, "They were spectacular." She said, "No they weren't." I got obstinately defiant and just said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you won't be changing mine. They're perfect." She acquiesced, and we fell asleep. I meant every word. They're so perfect. Every inch of her whole body is. I could seriously just stare at her, naked, for hours, and be in horny guy bliss. It's not a thing, it's the mindset that is wrong for me. That birthmark, mole, the fact you can hyperextend your elbows. The thing that makes you unique, is my thing, and if you let me in enough, to show it, that is what is attractive to me. Beauty is one thing, being secure enough, to be vulnerable, is another. Tallness. I'm very short, for a guy, 160 centimeters / 5'3", and I'm a sucker for height differences. If a girl isn't at least 5 feet 9 inches, chances are, she isn't catching my attention. My wife is 6 feet 0 inches, and enjoys wearing tall heels. My wallet hurts, because of how many I buy for her. Tan lines. I love tan lines. I would always ask my wife to wear a skimpy bikini in the tanning bed, but she didn't like tan lines. And what I call her booty shelf, right at the bottom of her butt cheeks, and top of her legs, it kinda goes in, and makes the perfect handhold. And I love how breasts kinda flatten out, when women lay on their back. And the sleepy looks, first thing in the morning. I like athletic women. I love the combination of curves and the muscle tone, not ripped, but toned. I also have a thing for women's belly buttons. I think they are incredibly sexy. I also love large meaty labia, the bigger, the better. I am embarrassed to say this, but body hair turns me on. The idea of two sweaty, hairy animals, viscously attacking each other, in a mating ritual, is kind of hot. The way they move. Not any feature, or body part specifically, but the way the whole female body moves. Science has shown that people can differentiate men from women, in a second or two, at the limit of visibility, just by the way they move. So can dogs and horses. So many women are so insecure about parts of themselves, feel forced to guard or hide that part. This makes them unbalanced as their minds are probably focused on concealment or protection. They say they hate the way they walk, or they are clumsy. They don't walk like those girls in the adverts. Well, from where I'm standing, I saw the motion of a beautiful, graceful female as she stepped, turned, dipped, and posed. I saw energy and vitality, coordination and strength. I saw beauty, and I saw power. I probably saw it from 500 meters away, and enjoyed watching every meter as she approached on the path between us. I saw a woman, and my brain made me pay attention. That smile on my face is because I'm old enough to know every woman has insecurities, but I always smile at the way every woman moves. Not through desire, but as an act of celebration. After reading this thread, men want stomach chub, thick thighs, small breasts, broad shoulders, big butt, and imperfect teeth. Danny DeVito. The perfect woman is Danny DeVito.